Shocking. Caitriona Balfe's husband accused of bullying, the heartbreaking truth revealed. Breaking news. Dublin, Ireland. The news early in the day on the Daily Mirror Ireland shocked the online community. Tony McGill, music producer and husband of Outlander star Caitriona Balfe, has been accused of years of mental bullying in the workplace. A former assistant said, "We lived in fear." The story quickly spread across social media. Twitter, Instagram, and Outlander fan forums exploded. No one expected the man who was usually quiet, always behind the spotlight, to be involved in such a big scandal. Even more remarkable, Caitriona Balfe, famous for her meticulousness and impeccable work ethic, remained completely silent. Shattered image. In the audience's memory, Tony McGill has always been the mysterious man, rarely appearing in public with Caitriona, even more rarely speaking to the press. They married quietly in 2019 at a small church in the Scottish Highlands, with only close friends and family in attendance. Caitriona once told an interviewer, "I value privacy. My husband is not a showbiz person, and I respect that." So when the scandal broke out, the audience felt like they had discovered a deep crack under the glamorous shell. According to press sources, 3 former employees of the music company Tony co-founded filed an official complaint with the Irish Workers' Protection Organisation. In it, they described the working environment as a mental dungeon, where silence was required, perfection was required, and any mistake was punished by isolation or mental abuse. Insiders speak out. A week after the news broke, one of the accusers, Eileen O'Connor, Tony's former assistant, made her first appearance on an evening TV show. Eileen, 29, said through tears, "I was a fan of Caitriona. I thought I was working with great people. But in my first month, I was called stupid and unreasonable for misbooking an unimportant meeting. I saw him scream at a sound engineer for misplacing a USB. He was fired 3 days later, with no explanation." The host asked, "Does Caitriona know what happened?" Eileen hesitated, "I can't say for sure. But she's been in the office a few times. I think by the look in her eyes, she knows. And if she does, that's even more heartbreaking. Silence hurts." Amid the media storm, Caitriona Balfe has gone completely silent. She did not appear at the London premiere of her new film. She has stopped posting on Instagram. No one knows where she is, except for a few sources who say she has returned to her mother's house in the Dublin suburbs. Fans are divided. Some are demanding Caitriona speak out, while others defend her, saying she cannot be held responsible for the actions of others. On the Outlander fanbase forum, one prominent comment has been liked thousands of times. "If Caitriona knows, she is to blame. But if she is also a victim, we have to wait until she is strong enough to tell the truth." The heartbreaking truth revealed. 3 weeks after the incident, Caitriona unexpectedly posted a long post on Instagram, with no photos, no hashtags, no open comments. The post began with 3 words, "I'm sorry." In the long post, she admitted, "I heard the whispers, I saw the fearful eyes. I didn't dare to face them because I was afraid. If it was true, I would lose a part of my life. I chose to stay silent because I thought silence was neutral. But I was wrong. Silence is complicity." She continued, "I cannot protect those who were hurt in that environment. But from today, I will support them, by withdrawing from projects related to that music company, and supporting the victims' legal fees." She did not elaborate on her marital status with Tony. But according to a source from her representative, Caitriona left the shared house last month. The awakening of a star. Late one night in her Dublin apartment, Caitriona sat alone at an old wooden table, the yellow light casting her shadow against the wall. Outside, the rain was pouring. Before her were pages of complaint forms, deposition transcripts, emails from lawyers, all mentioning a familiar, now unfamiliar name, Tony McGill. She turned to one particular email, from a former employee named Aoife Byrne. I know you're not a bad person. But if you know what we've been through, and choose to remain silent, then I don't know what to believe. Caitriona felt as if someone had stabbed a knife into her chest. She remembered the evenings she'd come home to find Tony angry with his staff on the phone, his voice sharp and cold. She'd once gently reminded him, "You seem stressed. Is everyone okay?" And Tony always soothed her with a smile. "I'm just forcing them to do better. In art, you either excel or you fail." At the time, Caitriona believed. Or rather, she chose to believe. Because facing the possibility that her partner might be an emotional bully was a pain she didn't want to touch. The night before everything changed, 3 days before writing her public apology, Caitriona had called Tony to the small coffee shop where they had their first date. He arrived 15 minutes late, his face as cold as iron, sitting down without looking her in the eye. "If you called me here to end things, just say it," he interrupted her as soon as she spoke. She squeezed her hand. "Tony, I can't go on if I don't know who you are," he chuckled. "You choose to side with the losers instead of your husband. Don't make this right or wrong. This is about the truth." Tony slammed his hand on the table. "The truth is, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have the peaceful life you have now. You just act and smile, and I have to fight." Caitriona stood up. She didn't say another word. In that moment, she knew she had just walked out of this marriage forever, stormy in the heart of the calm sea. When Caitriona's post spread across social media, the reactions were mixed. Some praised her for being brave, but a portion of the audience was still skeptical. She knew from the beginning. Why did she wait until the media exposed it to say anything? Caitriona didn't respond. She spent most of her time at her mother's house, away from the media, the phone, and even her friends in the entertainment industry. One day, she opened a handwritten letter, a letter from a stranger, Tony's former technical staff, named Declan. "Thank you. I thought no one would believe us. But you did the right thing. And that means more than any award." For the first time in weeks, Caitriona cried.